Taking a look at the local bourse, we ended the day sharply down, bloodbath on the local bourse. If you look at resource stocks particularly, shedding value left, right and centre. What was going on?
Well, I mean, yesterday the Dow shed quite a lot of points, came under a significant amount of pressure. I guess everyone preempting the data coming out. ADP precursor to the data that we had today, precursor to non-farm payrolls at least, and starting to price in a weaker than expected economic data. And us following the move overnight by the states lower. So a bit of panic, people getting out of large positions and whatnot. Yeah, so interesting to see the bloodbath appearing once again. Yeah.
What was your take on the mixed data we had coming out of the US this week?
Well, firstly, I mean, we were always waiting for the big number to come out today, which it did, and we took a look at the ADP number that came out on Wednesday. That was worse than expected, and we're just waiting to see if that filtered through to non-farm payrolls, which it did. So, we were slightly taken aback today when the extent of how much it decreased by. But then again, if you look at pending home sales, that was significantly stronger than the previous month as well. So a mixed bag, but I guess markets were just looking for any excuse to sort of take profits to correct. I mean, we've come a heck of a long way since the beginning of March. I mean, 6-7 straight months of going up. A correction has to come sometime. I'm not trying to call the big 10% correction or anything like that, but it's a healthy move lower that we're seeing at the moment.
And a relief for some traders who are wanting to get into some stocks that they've been eyeing, but just being too extended in their view, overextended. Exactly.
I mean, traders and investors alike, if you want to buy into the whole price earnings valuation looking quite high at the moment. Traders waiting for a decent pullback all the way up. We've been hearing guys just wait for this decent pullback to come, which hasn't been coming. And this might be the start of something good to give us a good buying opportunity at significantly lower levels.
Which sectors specifically would you be moving out of? Which sectors you got your money in? It was more stock specific view that you take?
Well, from a trading perspective, I think it's going to be very dangerous to trade the highly cyclical sectors like your financials, like your resources. Trading the more defensive type stocks, i.e. ShopRite, British American Tobacco, Aspen, I think stay out of those as well, because I think there's going to be weakness across the board if we do see a significant sell-off. And from a long-term investment point of view, if we are not out of the woods with regards to this global slump, then I guess you can start getting into those defensive type shares, but from lower levels. But there has to be a lot of bad data that comes out somewhere along the line to show us that the Goldilocks scenario is not quite there yet. So I wouldn't really be trying to pick a bottom and trading any specific type of sectors right now. I'd just be waiting for this pullback to occur, and then we'll see what it looks like a bit lower down. Yeah.
What extent do you think the pullback is going to take? Because the JSE's been dancing around 25,000 points now for a while, but it seems to be edging lower. How much lower do you think it's going to go?
Well, we look at the Aussie as a proxy. From a trading perspective, you can trade it at least. So if you take a look at that, from a technical point of view, there's quite a decent level at the lower 21,000, score 21,100, 21,200, which would signal about a 10% correction from the highs that we had in September. So we'll have to see what it looks like when we get down there, but that is quite a decent level to start thinking about buying once again.
Now, if we take a look at stocks today, very few stocks are trading high, but MTN continues to trade up after the news that the Bharti-MTN merger talks have been called up. So clearly a sign that markets are celebrating this news.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, as soon as the news came out, obviously MTN, the people that were speculating that they would get a sweetened deal on MTN, tried to get out and panicked, and the shares went to auction. The following morning, when they were unsuspended, you saw a whole bunch of big investment banks, locally and abroad, upgrading MTN from equal weight to overweight. Their conviction was on the buy list. And not surprising to see the share rally. I think a lot of people were suspecting some government intervention and the fact that the deal was not going to go through. MTN does seem to be quite decently valued at around the 130 level, yeah. So we're not surprised to see the nice recovery that we have seen.
And it's finally moved out of that trading range.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. Whether or not it will follow the global stock market slow will be interesting to see. But yeah, it's 132. I think it has to significantly break above 132, 133 to get going quite decently. Yeah.
Now it's interesting because if you look at the top 40 list, MTN is the top South African company by market value, just under Anglo, BHP, British American Tobacco, and SAB. So it's no wonder that the South African government got involved there. They would not want to give up control of another company.
Yeah, I suppose there was a lot of worries with regards to the loss of jobs, etc., losing a big South African asset. I don't want to dwell on what the government, their reasons behind getting involved. Personally, I thought it would have been a great a deal to go through from a South African perspective. The values that we could have gained from a cross-border merger with Bharti would have been fantastic, but as it may, it didn't go through. Nothing we can do about it at this point. Yeah.
Well, I don't have the closing prices, but last time I checked, Arcelor, Mittal and African Rainbow Minerals taking a battering today. What's been driving that?
Well, the resource sector, as you know, is very cyclical and very volatile enough as it is. The smaller mining companies, the likes of African Rainbow Minerals, Exxaro, Arcelor, Mittal, the volatility is just so much more excessive in them with regards to, if you compare them to Anglos and Billiton. So liquidity is not as great as your bigger miners. So when markets when volatility returns and we start to see a decent slide, people panic and struggle to get out of those shares. So that's the reason for the slide, the liquidity and the volatility in those shares.
No specific news flow?
No, nothing that I could see today, unfortunately, not to cause the panic there, yeah.
Now, going into next week, which stocks are you, if the pullback is coming, which stocks do you have your eye on?
Well, I think there will be great value to be had across the board. I don't think next week will be, the entry level. You never know. We might see broad-based panic, extreme panic, and reminiscent of what we saw when this bear market started. I think it will take a bit slower. Maybe by the end of the month we should see a decent buying opportunity. When that appears, you can start picking up the likes of Anglos, Billiton, Sasol, your big banks. I think you have to look for the quality stocks, the ones where there is enough liquidity and volumes to trade. But like I said, once again, I think it will be a case where we might have 1 or 2 days of bounces and then an edge slower, slowly down, I should say. Yeah.